Ashley's in another meeting, so you just get me this morning. So we're going to nerd out a little bit on some stuff that I've been building. Um, we, as you know, have been building tool calling for a while here and ripped out our orchestrator. But it's interesting because there's, I'd love feedback. So if you're working on this and you've dealt with this a little bit, I love your feedback. I was trying to, so we had the build plan where it like builds the plan and it steps it out. And I just felt like it was kind of doing stuff extra. Yeah, because it always built the plan first and then went to work. And that wasn't quite the behavior. And I wanted to have the behavior where there were certain things that you could do, like create an invite for me, and it would just create the invite for you. But in doing so, one of the problems with that is if you take a phased approach is that sometimes you make it so that the model wants to just choose that tool. And so I thought I was smart yesterday, and I thought I was going to be on top of it. And I built in a phase two, or a two phase, I should say, process. But in doing so, what I did was, I'll show you this here, so you can see it. So this is what we were building. So this is the MCP server prompt. So what I was trying to do is get this fast lane so it acted immediately without intent. But what I ended up doing was taking this and building it in the code so that it actually only, like, it was just very, very intentional, I'll say. And so all it was doing all day yesterday was just calling those 5 tools that I had set in here. And so that was a wonderful thing to realize at 11 o'clock last night, that this is why I was having so much challenge. So if you've built one of these orchestrators from scratch before, let me know. I'd love to know how, with the response API, you've actually dealt with latency, tool calling latency, how you dealt with that lag for the user when they try and chat with the bot. That's where I've been working on that. And so that being said, what we are doing is we're going to switch back, and we're going to go back to a single stage, so that we can have it be more along the project requirement documents and technical requirement documents that we had. And I shouldn't have gone diverging off into building something that I thought was a good idea, but just ended up being a day of waste. I mean, not a waste, because if it had worked, it would have been awesome. But that's part of building something you've never built before in a brand new technology. That there's there's information out there, but it's just not that specific, I'll say, around this type of stuff. And what I find is, because lots of the response API is new and these tools are new, one of the big challenges is like actually getting them to work. Where with the completions API, they seem to work a little better. Mostly probably because the models can, when you're coding them out using the agents, they know that system a little better and are trained on it. But that's kind of where we're at. So wish me luck. I'm going to be working as hard as I can to get the new orchestrator fully functioning before I take off for Greece. And I'm also, if any of you have done this yet, if you're using Claude Code, or what I'm interested in is if anyone's using codecs like Claude Code, if they're using it in terminal, if they're able to build complex multi-step features yet with it. I do spend a lot of time scoping them and making sure I have my documents ready, which is in alignment with how everyone's saying to use Claude Code. I just don't have it yet wired in. And so a little nervous about working in a terminal, to be honest, because I've never done it before in that kind of sense. So if anyone's done that, let me know. Comment, give us some support. Tell us what you're doing, how it's working for you. And if you're doing it in Codex, I'd really love that because we already have our subscription. And I would love to use a product I'm already paying for. Okay. Have an amazing day, and we will